And these are some of the things that I wish more entrepreneurs would talk about. Rather than covering the success of their journey, talk about how hard it was to get there and what challenges most people are going to face. Because I tell you what, you're going to go to some very, very dark places if you want to become an entrepreneur on that journey. Hey guys, Lally here. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the truth behind why you cannot accomplish your goals. And this is actually a very touchy personal subject for me because it's something that has invaded my life a lot as I've went about, growing up and also went about trying to achieve business goals and things like this. And the reason why I wanted to actually make this video is because I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners over the phone now and learned a lot about their lives and their business. I've also coached a bunch of them, maybe if they want like a LinkedIn strategy. And the things I've seen is that basically this affects everyone, right? But there is a distinct difference between those people who can set goals and then just achieve them versus the people who set the goals and just spin the wheels, get stuck in the mud, get really stifled and can't move forward. So this video is aimed for that latter group of people who actually can't move forward and are really struggling, because I used to be one of those people and it's very hard to overcome, but I'm going to try and break down in this video how you go about and overcome it. Now, if you do fall into that latter group of people, you will probably be experiencing in your day-to-day life maybe waking up, scrolling on your phone for a little bit, getting stuck in a rut, trying to accomplish like your business goals, feeling like you can't really get anywhere, knowing there's a specific set of actions you need to take to move forward, but you just can't seem to do the actions, you just can't seem to do the work. And it feels like almost there is a dark force holding your ankles and not letting you go. I can describe this so well because I've actually experienced this as well. I've been in a situation where I know the precise actions I need to do to move forward, but I just cannot seem to do them. And it all comes down to this little chart which is behind me and what I'm going to break down to you. So before I actually get into that chart, what I actually want to get into is a little bit of a personal story for me. So I actually have suffered with trying to accomplish my goals and failing to accomplish my goals, for pretty much all of my life. And there's been peaks and troughs where I've managed to do it and then I failed again. A great example of where this actually happened to me, where you wouldn't imagine it would have happened to me, was when I actually broke the 5-figure month mark for my business. And this was a goal I was pursuing for ages. It was taking me such a long time. I had to learn so much and I had to become like a completely different person to achieve this. And as soon as I broke that 5-figure month in my business, I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful for it. I've been working so hard for this. I can't believe this has happened. And to paint the picture, my childhood, we didn't have much money and things. I used to have to, have clothes handed down to me from other family members. And that's not like a sob story or anything, but I'm just painting the picture that a 5-figure month in a business for me is huge for me. Like, my family probably haven't ever seen something like that before. So I've kind of really broken the mold. And the thing which actually happened to me was I ended up setting bigger goals to try and accomplish them. But instead what actually happened was the fire in me completely died. Right? I suddenly got very, very comfortable. I had like a bunch of money in the bank. I felt like I'd made it. And basically the fire in me just completely went out. I just could not move forward. And it took me so long. And the reason why is because I was actually in a state of comfort. My current situation was a state of comfort. And when you're in a state of comfort, everyone aims to be in a state of comfort where they feel secure with just about everything, right? That's all really what goals, are about. Just feeling comfort, feeling content, feeling happy. But the problem is with that is that your happiness ends up basically sabotaging your goals and sabotaging your progress, right? And this is something I see with entrepreneurs who cannot like move forward with the business, who maybe have been trying for a long time to get more clients, or maybe they've been trying to make something successful, maybe they've been trying to climb up in their career, and maybe they've been trying to lose weight or something like that. And what happens is they get stuck in this area of comfort, of, yeah, I know I need to do this, but I'll do it tomorrow. They have this weird faith that things will just work out. But let me please correct you here, if you also believe this. This isn't a Hollywood film, right? This is real life. In real life, things happen, you know? You can roll the dice and it cannot go your way. Good things don't just happen to good people for no reason. And the reason I know this is because there's a lot of good people on the planet. Life doesn't just reward them for being good people. It actually requires an awful lot of uncomfortable action to get from where you currently are to get to your goals. And you have to pretty much make yourself very, very, very uncomfortable to get to your goals here. And when I say you have to make yourself uncomfortable, I don't mean like, standing outside freezing cold. I mean like taking actions which make you feel uncomfortable, taking an uncomfortable level of actions, and also somehow bringing this discomfort over to here, so you're more likely to move away from your current situation because it's uncomfortable, right? So for instance, have you seen like people who maybe their goal is to get fitter and lose weight? Now, there's people out there that join the gyms in January, and by the end of January, in the gyms, you see this giant influx of people who are all dedicated to getting fit, dedicated to losing weight. They've just piled on the pounds over the Christmas. The end of January, most of these people have given up on themselves. They've given up on their goals as well. And it's because they have ended up in this comfort state of, you know what, like everything seems to be okay. I can cope as I am at the moment, and their standards are very, very comfortable. But instead, what would work better is if they made themselves uncomfortable with who they are, because massive action comes out naturally when you are in an uncomfortable state. So let me just tell you that again. Massive action comes out when you are in an uncomfortable and pained state, right? So for me, what I actually had to do was identify what was making me feel comfortable in my business, which was the money in my bank from doing well in my business. And I actually had to get rid of it and reinvest it, get rid of it, spend it, put it more into my business. I could put it into assets if I wanted to. I ended up just like reinvesting it into my business. But basically, until I felt that heat, right? That discomfort from no longer being safe and secure, then suddenly I could move forward, right? And isn't it weird how life works like that? Isn't it just weird? You'd think that like you'd work harder and you'd work better and produce possibly the best work you've ever done if you were happy and comfortable and content, because that's like what everyone tells us is really the thing. But actually what happens is it's completely the opposite. And if we are in like a state of comfort, we just can't seem to move forward. So think of this like you're lying in a hot tub or a bath or whatever, and you have got nice warm water around you. It's great, isn't it? The bath feels absolutely great. However, if somebody came along and poured a bucket of ice in that water, you're probably not going to stay in there, right? You're going to actually move out of there because it's become quite uncomfortable. It's become quite painful. It's very cold. It's not great for you to stay in that situation. And the problem is with most entrepreneurs is they know what they need to do, but they just cannot do it because their life is in a state of comfort. And one of my mentors says, who actually runs a 9-figure business, says himself the only way where he can actually grow his business and get himself to take action is for himself to stay broke. So obviously I'm talking about this from a business angle and staying broke, but there's also multiple ways for you to do this. So what I would be doing if you're watching this video and you feel like you're in this situation, I'd be looking at and doing an audit of all the things around me which are actually keeping me comfortable. And this brings me on to another point, right? So from what I've learned in, my business career is that basically your brain doesn't give a damn about your goals. And that is a really tough realization. Your brain does not give a damn about your goals. All it wants to do is to be well fed, is to be watered, to get sleep, to be comfortable and to reproduce. Your brain, other than that, does not give a damn about your goals, right? These goals are not really a part of it. It just wants to stay really warm in the nice bath, all comfortable, right? And it doesn't want to move to discomfort. So your brain will actively fight against you if you're trying to move to discomfort to actually achieve your goals. So what you need to do is you really, really, really need to take like a forceful, massive, painful action effort to be like, I know what I need to do. I should do this. And there's actually a great book that covers this topic, and it's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. What Stephen talks about in the book is how the path of the most resistance is usually the path you need to take. But if we actually look at the typical person's path they take is usually the path of the least resistance, right? But they don't get anywhere. Coming in at night and rather than working on your business, if you sit down and watch Netflix, that's the path of the least resistance. The path of the most resistance is doing those uncomfortable actions, is sending those cold DMs to people, right? Is actually, hopping on sales calls and trying to improve sales, right? That's the path of the most resistance. It's the path of the discomfort. But if you take the path of the discomfort, you end up getting closer to your goals, but only if you realize that right now you are staying in the comfort area. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know in the comments if you did. Let me know if you want to see some more content like this, and only subscribe to the channel if you actually like this content and like what I'm talking about here. Hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.